go again. I'm up at one of my favorite spots in Australia. Some red gum forest all around. So the objectives this time round is to catch a Murray cod. I had a woeful cod season last year with the bushfires and COVID and all the shit in between. Secondly, I'd like to find a suitable spot to solo camp with the kayak. Yeah, and then thirdly, if I can prevent what happened with my previous overnight kayak trip where I flipped the rig and lost my GoPro and drowned my phone, that would be great. Still looking for my dignity as well, was also lost in that incident. Now this is about the best river access I can find. It's pretty damn steep. And the kayak is a two-man kayak, so it's a bloody juggernaut. And I haven't unloaded it myself before, so this should go about as smooth as a debate about immigration in Queensland. See how we go. And there she is. The wind is bloody insane. So yeah, might spoil the fun a little bit. But you see, the good thing about a kayak overnighter versus a hiking overnighter is you can't bloody carry this on your back. So much liquid gold. Now to drag the juggernaut down to the water. That is sulphur-crested cockatoos coming in. One of Australia's iconic bird species. With a call that can only be described as a kid being exercised. They are hugely intelligent birds and have been known to respond to music. There's a specimen in captivity that has over 14 moves to 14 different tunes. That's about 9 more than the average Caucasian bloke. Funnily enough, most cockies are left-footed. They love red gum forests such as these. They make their nest in the hollows of the trees. Yeah. Well, that was day 1's fishing done. Managed to pitch the tent, but yeah, she's not set up by the book, but hopefully she'll hold. Have to bloody gather firewood now. Whoopsie. Too easy. Okay, so I've built a bird nest for the fire, and in the center I placed a piece of char cloth, which I'll show you how to make tomorrow. And now all we have to do is get the char cloth to catch a spark, which it did really easily. Now we put it in the middle of the bird's nest and we blow. Yeah. Morning folks, this here is the sound of summer, a cicada, a very cool species of insects. There's over 700 species in Australia alone, of which only approximately 300 or so has been named. They're the loudest family of insects known to man. They have two life stages. They have a nymphal stage where they live underground, and then they feed on the sap of tree roots, much like a meth head feeds of centerlink. This stage can take 6 to 17 years depending on the species, after which they emerge. Their front legs turn into makeshift shovels, and then they dig themselves underground and cling to a hardened surface like a tree bark or so. Then they go through a cocoon-like stage. After they emerge from this, they go into a frenzied orgy to reproduce, and then it all starts over again. Very cool. Not as loud here as some of the other places I've been. I think it might be due to the temperature drop, but very cool nevertheless. Time for some real breakfast. I've been fishing for a solid 4 hours now and not a single bloody strike. It's pretty damn chilly. Wednesday, which is 2-3 days ago, it was 40 degrees. I reckon it's about 18 now, so there's a huge temperature drop. Righto, so yesterday I said I'll show you how to make the char cloth. So all you need is a tin like this, and then you puncture a hole at the top. This one's a bit big, but it still does the job. Then you just cut all jeans or cotton material or any old clothing really into small blocks. You put it in the tin and you just chuck it on the fire, and when the black smoke stops coming out, then it's ready. Then you have char cloth. You can also do it for with old bark and stuff. Like I have some here that's just bark trimmings, and this is just to catch a spark when you make a fire with flint. Righto, fishing session number 3. Hopefully I get bloody lucky this time, otherwise I'm gonna have to fill the video with nature scenes and shit. So as you might realize at this point in time in the bloody video, the fishing hasn't been very successful. Not from a bloody lack of trying though. I reckon I've done about 1,000 casts already. Either way, I suppose I'll have to fill this video with some other shit. I don't think anyone wants to see a video of me just casting away. So without further ado, I'll show you how to make a batten, which is a useful tool for preparing fire. And I'll start with showing you my latest tool, the Silky Gomboy rather. It's a little hand saw, and I used that last night to get firewood. It works a charm. Okay, so now the next step is to make a couple of cuts into the wood about handle length wide. Not too deep. Okay, so start off with that. Then Take your knife, the angle that you want the handle to be, and then just chomp it through. Okay, now do that for the other side. We've made the cut as well. Okay. Rinse and repeat. And there you have it, a batten, a useful camping tool for splitting wood. You just bash your knife through logs. I'll show that later on. And then you can also use it to storm the Capitol building if you're a Republican. It's a very useful multi-purpose tool, you know, useful for bashing. Fucking finally! Finally bloody got one. after I lost one earlier. Whoa, calm down, fella. Oh man, I'm stoked. I have not worked this hard for a fish. It's literally the end of the light. Fishing from first light till last light. Come on, I want to get these hooks out. Easy, fella. There you go. Yes, finally! Man, after 1,000 bloody casts, this little fella took the crankbait. Man, the Murray cod is such a cool species. They are the biggest freshwater species in Australia. Bloody apex predator of these waterways. They are only found in the Murray-Darling Basin. Well, let me release this bugger. And yeah, super stoked. I'll give you a bit of a more of a spiel on the Murray cod later on. Let me fish with the little bit of light that's still left. Okay, packed up and on the way back. Just gonna fish one last spot, which has been fruitful for me in the past. It's the same spot I fished when I came in. Anyway, the cod spiel I promised. They are voracious predators. They've found everything from lizards to turtle shells to golf balls in their stomachs. People catch the bloody things on cheese, if you'll believe that. Yeah, when the European settlers came to Australia, cod were abundant, and when I say abundant, I mean to such an extent that it was a viable commercial fishery for 30 or so years. I mean, from 1900 to 1929, more than 11 million kilograms of cod was consumed in Melbourne alone. That, together with piss poor government regulation and regulation of streams, the introduction of carp, it all just decimated their population to such an extent that scientists have doubts on the wild cod population being sustainable. You can keep them. I think there's a slot limit, so if it's above 60 centimeters, you can keep a cod. But I mean, why would you? There's so many other viable species out there to eat if you're inclined to do that.